Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney, and this is episode 34 of our Park Life Podcast. On these podcasts, we cover all things Disney, from planning your trip to days in the parks, days outside of the parks, resorts, food, you name it, we cover it. Today is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be full on opinion. We're going to cover a topic that I will give you my rankings, and I would love to hear yours. So today is the Mount Rushmore day for Disney World. There's about 4 or 5 different categories that we're going to cover, and I'll give you clearly my opinions on those. And again, I'd love to hear your opinions as well. As I said, today is episode 34 of the Park Life Podcast. We post these out on both YouTube, on our Park Life Podcast channel, as well as on Spotify on the Park Life Podcast channel. We'd love to have you give us a listen or give us a watch, either way. So today we're going to go through about 6 different categories. That's 5 or 6 different categories. And I'm going to rank my top 4 in those categories. And I'll go from 4 down to 1 in each of those. And again, this is 100% opinion based. And I will share my thoughts on why I've got the ones I picked and how I ranked them the way I did. And again, I'd love for you to comment on your rankings for any or all of these categories. So, if you know much about me, you know that I love food. So, that's where we're going to start. And I'll do 3 different Mount Rushmore listings. We're going to do table service or reservation service that's non character. We'll do quick service or counter service Mount Rushmore list. And then we'll wrap up food with my top 4 character dining experiences. And then we'll move on to a couple other topics. So first, again, this is the Mount Rushmore of table service reservation type restaurants. And I'm going to start off with number 4, and I'm going to give it a little twist of what you might be thinking as far as table service restaurants go. And number 4 for me is Beaches and Cream. Um, Ice cream's a dinner meal for me. I'm good with that. So for me, I think the ambiance, the experience, the decor inside, whether you and or your family get the kitchen sink or not, there's inevitably somebody there that's going to while you're there. And it's a treat in and of itself to watch someone or a group of someone's try to put that thing away. So for me, number 4 is Beaches and Cream. Number 3 on my list is over at Wilderness Lodge, and it is the Whispering Canyon Cafe. This one falls on my Mount Rushmore for a couple of reasons. One, the food itself I think is really good. They have all you can eat skillets. And again, being a food guy, anything that's all you can eat or buffet is aces in my book. So the food is great there. The pricing I think is reasonable for an all you can eat skillet. And the atmosphere is second to none. Um, if you've never been, I would encourage you to make reservations to go sometime. Ask for ketchup, you'll find out what they do. Ask for a refill of your soda, you'll find out what they do. There will be opportunities for certain people to ride a stick pony around the restaurant. It's a lot of fun and an experience that you'll never forget. Number 2 on my list is also a experience type of restaurant, and this one is at Hollywood Studios, and it's the 50s Primetime Cafe. Now, I put this one number 2 on my Mount Rushmore list for a couple of reasons. One, the ambiance is pretty neat. It's based on being in the 1950s, thus 50s Primetime Cafe. They have televisions playing in black and white. All of the cast members are dressed as if they would have been in the 1950s. You are highly encouraged to clear your plate. They hand out stickers for those that clear their plates. No elbows on the table. That's a big no no. No cell phones out at the table. That's a big no no. So, really fun. And I think for me, the other thing too is the food is really, really good and very reasonably priced. I'm a creature of habit. When I find a restaurant I like, I tend to go back. And when I find a food item I like, I tend to order that. So the pot roast is my number 1 go to at the 50s Prime Cafe. My number one, I guess you'd call this my George Washington for table service reservation dining experiences at Disney, is at Epcot. It's in the Japanese pavilion and it's Teppan Edo. It's up on the second story of the building. It is a hibachi style restaurant where they cook the food right out in front of you. So you get dinner and a show. The cast member chefs are very talented. The food is incredibly tasty. And it's just a cool experience. You're sitting in a U-shaped table. I think that seats either 8 or 10 people. So depending upon your party size, you may be paired up with another family. And in my experiences of all the times we've eaten there, that's been part of the fun is to be able to interact with another family, find out where they're from. Is it their first time ever to Disney? Are they celebrating anything? It's the first time they've eaten at Tepanido. All of those things go into a fun, dynamic experience there. And now, for me personally, when I make my reservation for Tepanido, I try to do it somewhere in the call it 7 o'clock range so that by the time we're done eating, it'll be close to 8:15, 8:30, and we can typically walk right out. And sometimes we'll stay up on that second level. There's a deck area, and that's where we stay and we watch Luminous. So we try to time it just right so that we come out of the restaurant and get set up to watch the nighttime show there. So there's my Mount Rushmore, my top four of my table service reservation non character dining experiences. Again, I'd love to have you comment and share your top four on that category with me. Next, we're going to move on to quick service. The counter table or countertop, walk in, order, take your food off with a tray, and sit down somewhere and eat. So for me, my top four, I start with number four, and that is at Magic Kingdom, and it is Pecos Bills. Can't go wrong with tacos ever. I know it's always Taco Tuesday, but for me, it's any day that ends in Y is Taco Day. I also love their chicken nachos. I think they're really tasty as well. Pretty fun environment inside there. A lot of table space to sit. They have some seating outside in a covered area as well. So if the weather is too terribly hot, it's nice to sit out there as well. Number three for me on my list, I'm going to head over to Hollywood Studios, and that is the Backlot Express. If you're not familiar with the location, but you're familiar with Hollywood Studios, this dining sits at the exit to the right as you're facing the stage of the Indiana Jones stunt show. Kind of like between the Indiana Jones stunt show and Star Tours. A lot of seating inside. There's a lot of seating outside in covered areas. Pretty quick food service. And for fast food, I think it's pretty tasty. So that's a go to for us. Number two on the quick service is also at Hollywood Studios. And this one's on my list primarily because I think it serves my favorite food of all of the quick serve locations across the Walt Disney World properties. And that is the ABC Commissary. First off, it's inside. There's a decent amount of seating. It's nicely air conditioned. You can sit and relax, take a load off, and enjoy some food. And for me, that food pick that I'm always getting is the buffalo chicken grilled cheese sandwich. Comes with French fries, and I also get a soft drink as well with that. Very tasty. If you're a buffalo chicken fan, I think it's pretty good. Reasonably priced for fast food. So that's my number two on my quick serve Mount Rushmore. And on to my George Washington for quick serve. And just like on table service, I had a twist with number four being beaches and cream. I'm giving you a little twist on my quick service. And we're going to Epcot. We're heading to Germany. And we're going to go into Caramel Couch, which is essentially the caramel shop. If you've seen me on any live streams or anybody's social media stuff, you know I am a huge proponent of the caramel shop in Germany, whether it's a caramel apple or it's one of the other amazing treats, caramel corn, snickerdoodle cookies, you name it, it's all tasty. And that is a must do location for me when it comes to quick serve at Walt Disney World. I'm getting hungry. I'll stop there and say that. Hopefully, you are as well. But again, give me your top four in any or all of these categories. I'd love to see yours. 100% opinion based, but it's fun to discuss. Now we're going to head to character dining. First, I will say this: if you've got littles and you can afford the expense of character dining or wish to spend that kind of money for it, I say absolutely go for it. First off, the character interactions are a lot of fun. Secondly, in almost all cases, these dining experiences are either buffet or family style, where they bring a platter out to your table. So it's all you can eat, so you can fill your belly pretty well. And I think the other thing that is important to note, even though you're spending the money, you're knocking out four or sometimes five character meet and greets with your children in that hour and a half setting that would probably take you 2 to 3 hours, if not more, if you were to go stand in line for each of those same four or five characters. And in some cases, you can't even stand in line for some of those characters. One of them I'll mention when I get through my list here, but they sometimes offer characters at the dining experiences that do not have meet and greets in the parks, and or sometimes you can't even find the character. So keep that in mind when you're considering doing any character dining. But for my Mount Rushmore of character dining, and again, this is all opinion based, and I'm quite certain, I hope I see comments from a lot of you with other amazing experiences. And I cannot say that mine are better than yours or yours are better than mine. It's all personal preference. But number four on my character dining experience is a traditional one. It's one of the longest standing character dining meals. And I think it has a unique twist and experience to it that sets it apart slightly. And that would be at the Contemporary Resort, and it's Chef Mickey's. First off, just the character experience alone, you're getting the core characters in that experience with Mickey himself as the headliner. It's a buffet style, so you can get plenty of food, a lot of variety. And that added bonus uniqueness is the fact that you can ride the monorail right through the heart of the Contemporary Resort, get out and go down and dine, and then hop back on the monorail. If you're first time visitors or bringing children for their first time, just the added experience of getting to not only ride the monorail, but see it going right into the property itself and then getting out and dining is just an added bonus. It's like dessert before the meal, if you will. Number three for me is inside the Magic Kingdom, and that would be the Crystal Palace Cafe. Crystal Palace is a Winnie the Pooh character dining experience. So you get Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, you get Eeyore, and you get Piglet. Eeyore and Piglet are characters you won't find outside of this dining experience. So it's again a unique opportunity for your kids to interact with some characters. This is a buffet style dining experience. And if I could add one bonus note for this, do breakfast. This is the only place at Walt Disney World that you can get the churro Mickey waffles, breakfast and a dessert all together. If you can plan it and go closer to say 10:30, you get a double bonus in the sense that you'll still be enjoying breakfast, but as 11 o'clock approaches, they're converting over to lunch, and you can probably get some lunch food in you as well. I should note that most all of the character dining experiences will take at least an hour and usually closer to 90 minutes by the time you get your fill of food and all of the characters make their way through the dining hall and to your table. In all of our experiences in all of the dining for characters, the characters have been wonderful. They spend ample amount of time at the table. They'll sign your autograph books. They'll pose for pictures and multiples. I mean, I've been there with my family, and we've done this. I've seen other families where they did take, we'll say Mickey Mouse takes a picture with one of the kids, and then a picture with the second child, and then the third child, and then with just the parents, and then with the whole family. So they're very giving of their time, and it's a really cool experience. So, again, I would say Crystal Palace inside the Magic Kingdom would be my number three on my Mount Rushmore for character meals. Number two for me, I'm going to head back outside of the Magic Kingdom. I'm still on the monorail loop, and that's going to be Ohana's at the Polynesian Resort. And for me specifically, breakfast at Ohana's. Wonderful food. This is a family style where they bring platters to your table. Um, Multiple foods come out. And if you go through, say, all of the bacon and want more bacon, they'll bring out just more bacon. If you've gone through the Mickey waffles, they'll bring more of those out. Whatever you need, they'll replenish for you. So plenty of food. This is another character dining experience where you'll get to see characters that you either don't see inside the park or don't necessarily get to have the same encounter with them signing autographs. In this one, the headliners are Lilo and Stitch. You'll also get to see Mickey and Pluto, I believe. And I should note that character experiences can change sometimes. Maybe a character that is traditionally in a location might not be in a certain day for any number of reasons, but traditionally it's always Lilo and Stitch, Mickey, and Pluto inside of Ohana's. The food is amazing. You got to get the Pog juice. It's a tasty treat that is kind of a staple of the breakfast at Ohana's. And again, you don't see Lilo inside the parks anywhere, so an added bonus for you. So Ohana's at the Polynesian Resort outside the Magic Kingdom is my number two on the Mount Rushmore. Number one for me, and this is one that my entire family loves. It is a go-to every time we attend a Walt Disney World trip. That is inside the Animal Kingdom in his Tusker House. Again, we do breakfast. This is a buffet style setting. I'll tell you the tip that we try to do. Let's say if Animal Kingdom opens at 8 a.m. and if you're staying on property in a resort, you can get in 30 minutes early, so 7:30. I try to make our dining reservation for somewhere around 9 or 9:30. That way we can rope drop and go right to Avatar, get on Flight of Passage, which is one of, if not the most popular and longest lines at Animal Kingdom. We'll ride that. And if we have time before our dining reservation is due, we'll typically do the Navi River ride inside Avatar. And then we can go have breakfast. So it allows you to take advantage of rope drop before you have your dining experience. Food is amazing in there, a lot of variety. Again, it's buffet style, and the character interactions are just phenomenal. So there's my top four for the dining experiences for characters. I think you'll notice one thing that's common with me, especially with the character meals, is breakfast is usually our choice when we do character dining. um, there's nothing better than starting your entire long Walt Disney World park day with a nice hearty meal. Um, this next comment I'll make, I guess, is a case by case situation, but in our experiences when our kids were little, um, the kids were happier and more energetic first thing in the morning after a good night's sleep. Their experiences with the characters were better as the day wears on. If it's warm out or hot, the kids get tired, they get a little cranky. It's just human nature. And so for us, getting those character experiences in while they were fresh and awake and alert and energetic made for a little bit better experiences for us. All right, so I'm still hungry, and I'm going to have to address that after I get done with this podcast. But we're going to move inside of the parks, and I will start with my Mount Rushmore of shows inside any of the four parks. And again, this is all opinion based. I would love to hear your thoughts on your top four shows inside the parks. And in this scenario, shows could be any of the daytime shows, and it could also be the nighttime shows. So again, I'll start with number four on my list for the Mount Rushmore of shows, and that would be Happily Ever After, the fireworks experience inside the Magic Kingdom. There are a number of amazing viewing places around Magic Kingdom. There are less crowded places back behind the castle in Fantasyland. The upside to that is smaller crowds. The downside is you cannot see the projections on the castle or up and down Main Street. So keep that in mind. Great viewing on the bridge to Tomorrowland. Sometimes we like to be there so that if the weather cooperates and Tinkerbell takes her flight, she will fly virtually right over top of us. Cool experience. I think the first time we did that with the kids, they just thought that was the bee's knees, so to speak, with the kids seeing Tinkerbell fly over top of them. There's nothing better than being somewhere along Main Street in front of the castle, up close to see the projections in their finer details, being right there with the action. Another place we like to be is up on the platform on the train station. The view is great from up there. You can see the entire Main Street light up with those projections, and then the panoramic view from up there, the fireworks is pretty spectacular. So, Happily Ever After is number four on my Mount Rushmore of shows. Number three, we're going to leave Magic Kingdom, hop on the monorail, and head over to Epcot. And it would be Epcot's nighttime show, Luminous. For me, first off, any show with fireworks is something that I absolutely love and adore and will always watch. I like at Luminous, you get the experience around the lagoon. So while there's big crowds watching the show, it doesn't necessarily feel nearly as packed tight like the Main Street viewing of Happily Ever After does. So you get a little more elbow room at times. Um, the views from different parts around the lake there at Epcot also make for a unique experience. But I love the fireworks. I love the kind of the storytelling. Some of the songs within the show are, I guess, what I'd say non-traditional, non-Disney movie songs, which I think is a great thing as well to add to the ambience of the show. So Luminous for me would be number three on my Mount Rushmore of shows. And I'll be honest with you, I was there for opening night of Luminous. I liked it, but I didn't love it at the time. The more I've seen it, the more I've watched it, my passion and love for it has grown immensely. I will say, and I'll circle back on that as well, but I will say for me, Illuminations, Reflections of Earth was and always will be my favorite show at Epcot back in the day. And if I go back to Magic Kingdom real quick, I would say Wishes will always be my number one favorite nighttime fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom. And there's a number of reasons why I could go into that, the fireworks, the songs, the storytelling, whatever. But it comes down to one thing. My kids, when they were little, those were the two shows that were happening at Epcot and Magic Kingdom. And so that's what they were raised on. And so I've got a lot of fond memories when it comes to those shows because my kids were little and experienced those for the very first time. Number two on my Mount Rushmore of shows will be my first and honestly only daytime entry on this list, and that is Festival of the Lion King inside Animal Kingdom. That show, I can watch it every trip, and the energy inside that theater is just infectious. Watching the crowd involvement, getting excited. Um, if you've not seen it before, I don't want to spoil too many things. I'll just say this: enjoy the tumble monkeys. Pretty amazing. I remember each time I go, I just flash back to the very, very first time we saw it, and I'm never disappointed anytime we go see it. So that's my number two on my Mount Rushmore for shows. And number one, if you're an aficionado of Walt Disney World, because of the fact that my one and only daytime entry was Lion King on at number two. Now, my number one for shows on Mount Rushmore at Walt Disney World would be Phantasmic Inside Hollywood Studios. That show just is phenomenal to me. You get a little bit of everything. You get fireworks, you get lasers, you get giant 40, 50 foot tall water shields that they project images on. You get characters. You just get it all. It's a great story. It's about a 25, I think it's the longest nighttime show, about 25 to 29 minutes roughly. It's a sit down theater that you go into. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you get in there, the crowd can make a big difference in the atmosphere of the show. A lot of times you get crowds that they're doing cheers and chants and they're doing the wave and things like that before the show ever starts, and the energy level is just off the charts. They've got quick service type snacky food carts up at the top, whether it's Mickey pretzels or popcorn, a variety of different things that are available to get. It's a great way for me to end our night at Hollywood Studios after a day of walking and riding rides and seeing other daytime shows, being able to just unwind, They're relaxed for 15 to 30 minutes or so before the show starts, and then the roughly 30 minutes of the show. It is a must do for us. I will um, caution you this note. Um, because of the dynamics, characters on stage, and things like that, sometimes weather can cause the show to be either delayed and or canceled. If there's lightning around, they will not run the show. If the winds are too strong, they will also not run the show. And I bring this up because there are times that they'll have two showings of this. And we always took the strategy of seeing the late show, the second one, knowing that there's thousands of people watching the first show, which means the ride lines are shorter. And from that standpoint, it's a great strategy, and we've gotten ride rides with shorter lines. But we've also gotten bit by doing that, in that by the time the second show is getting ready to start, storm comes in, there's lightning, and the show gets canceled. So keep that in mind and plan accordingly. Keep an eye on what the weather looks like and plan accordingly. So there's my shows. And that leaves one category for me, and that is rides or attractions. And I'll be honest with you, when you start to add up all the different rides and attractions across the four theme parks at Walt Disney World, it's an extensive list. And so, because of that, and for this category only, I'm doing a it's kind of like the Miss Universe pageant. We're going to do a first runner up Mount Rushmore of rides and attractions. So these would essentially be my rankings of 5 through 8. And then we'll do our actual Mount Rushmore of rides and attractions at Walt Disney World. So we'll start with the runner up. And again, this is going to be all opinion based. Um, and honestly, I'm going to read these. And as I'm reading them, in my mind, I might be thinking, oh, I can't believe I put that there. I love that ride, or whatever the case may be. And because it's opinion based, depending upon my mood, I could change the ranking if we did it again next week. So, anyway, so let's start with the first runner ups. The numbers 8 through 5 in my rankings. First off, and this is why I'm already like, oh my God, I can't believe I put this low. But first up would be Soarin' inside Epcot. Soarin' is in the land building. It's an amazing theater movie experience. It's not necessarily a ride, so to speak, although you will be put into a seated bench and you'll get trapped in, and it will move to position you for the theater show. It's um, just breathtaking. Every time we see it, I feel like it's the first time all over again. There's so much to see and experience during the show that sometimes I'll focus on different areas of the screen so that maybe I pick up on something that I didn't see the last time. So that real visual sensory attraction experience is why I've got Soren on my list. And again, this is my first runner-ups. Number 3 on my first runner-ups, we're going to go over to Magic Kingdom, and that would be Jungle Cruise. Again, if any of you know me, this should not surprise you whatsoever. I am super duper onto dad jokes, and the Jungle Cruise ride is filled with those types. Um, it's one of Walt Disney's original attractions, which I also think makes it pretty special. Um, Sometimes the line can be long waiting to get on the ride, but once you're on it, it's a nice, relaxing 15-20 minute boat ride. Um, where again, you can just kind of rest your puppies, rest your feet for a little bit, enjoy the jokes. Um, I love when we're on that boat and there are people that have never done Jungle Cruise before. And so you kind of relive your first time through watching them experience their first time. Number 2 on my Mount Rushmore first runner ups of rides and attractions would be Kilimanjaro safaris at Animal Kingdom. This is a absolute must do for me and my family when we go. And I think what makes this one so special is that no two rides are the same. You're seeing true live animals that are moving around, doing whatever it is that they do, and based on the time of day, based on the weather, if it's cool and rainy, if it's hot and sunny, the experience is different each and every time. You could ride it get off, get back in line, and ride it again 30 minutes later, and the experience is completely different. So a lot of fun. And I think what sets that ride apart and gets put on my list too is the fact that each driver of the Jeep, we'll call it a Jeep, who narrates the ride, it's a different experience with each one of them. Kind of like the Jungle Cruise on my number three, the skipper, their jokes, their delivery on the safari, their information that they share, their storytelling sets each ride apart separately. And so this is why I put Kilimanjaro Safaris on my list. And again, it made my first runner ups list. My number one on my first runner up list for rides and attractions, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom, and this would be Tron, the newest ride at Magic Kingdom. If you've not been there since it opened, which has been, gosh, almost 2 years now, I think it'll be 2 years in April of 2025, that it's been 2 years now in the running. It's a roller coaster. Now, I'll be open and honest here that the knock against the ride is that the length of it is pretty short, and I would agree with that. But as far as roller coaster goes, incredibly smooth. It has a launch feature at the start. The ambience in line in through the pre-show and the queuing is pretty cool. If you can do this ride at night, it's an added bonus for you. Just a cool experience. So that would be my number one of my Mount Rushmore first runner ups of rides and attractions. And now we get to the main event here, and this is my Mount Rushmore of rides and attractions, my top four across the Walt Disney World complex. Starting off at number four is Tower of Terror inside Hollywood Studios. Very unique ride experience. You can go to a lot of theme parks and do a ride drop or a ride launch type of thing. But because you're inside of a building, there's a story being told leading up to the drops, and the drops are different each time. There's no one sequence of drop, 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 whatever. They change each ride, so that experience is different. The ambiance inside the hotel is phenomenal. You feel like you're transported inside to a hotel back in the 50s or 60s, and you're living this experience. You can just kind of feel the hair on your arms raise up a little bit. So, very cool experience. And again, this is another one that if you can do it at nighttime, it's just an added experience that changes the dynamic of the ride itself. Number three on my winners list of Mount Rushmore for rides and attractions would be Flight of Passage inside Animal Kingdom in the Avatar section. This ride, to me, if you think about the newest rides that came out at Walt Disney World, Prawn, Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance, Guardians of the Galaxy, that genre, if you will. Flight of Passage was the first of those that came out that kind of just raised the bar when it came to how they did new rides inside Walt Disney World. And so for that reason alone, it sits on my top four. Um, the Banshee that you ride on, it vibrates and you feel like it's breathing and you're feeling its rib cage expanding and contracting. Just an added, feature to the experience that the Disney Imagineers put into all of the work. The screen and the believability that you're flying and going through the scenes in Avatar just kind of set it apart as a very unique experience. Number two on my Mount Rushmore winners rides and attractions. And I'm going to say right now, my number two is, I'm going to guess, most everybody's number one, and that's okay. We're splitting hairs here, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy, the newest roller coaster at Walt Disney World. This is inside of Epcot. If you're familiar with how Epcot's laid out, Guardians of the Galaxy is right near Mission Space and Test Track. Probably the best roller coaster experience I've ever had at any theme parks that I've been to. The launch, it's a launch coaster, launches you backwards, which is phenomenal. It's not a traditional roller coaster where each of the cars are linked together and whatever car one does, car two, three, four, five do as well. They're all independently running. they will swivel into the turns and that sort of thing. And so at times you might be spun sideways going on the track, called track, so you can see what's happening. It's all inside. It's a lot of darkness. Amazing, spectacular, spectacular, spectacular. And again, most people would have this as their absolute number one ride, and I would never dispute that. But it's two for me. And that brings us to number one. And if I was a drummer, I'd play a drum roll for you. For me, number one on my Mount Rushmore rides and attractions is the Rise of the Resistance inside of Hollywood Studios. Now, part of that is I am a Star Wars fan, so you have that going into the equation, so to speak. But for me, this ride is the most experiential ride attraction at all of Walt Disney World. Um, Through all of the pre-show stuff to the point that you actually get into the ride car. I mean, the pre-show stuff is pretty cool. And I don't want to give things away if you've never done it before. But it is a 20-minute, give or take, um, ride from, and I don't mean just ride once you sit down and buckle in and go. The pre-show stuff where you're in one of the ships and all of those sorts of things. Just an incredible experience. I remember the year that it opened and we were there for the first time. It was virtual queue, and I just remember it was like everybody in the area, whatever ride we were in line for, you had 1,000 people all just pressing their button trying to get that virtual queue. It was, the popularity was off the chart then, and for me to this day, that's my number one. Absolutely love it. Must do ride in all of Walt Disney World. So there you have it. There's my Mount Rushmores, all opinion based. And this is where I'm going to kind of turn the camera to you and say, hey, let me know your top fours in any or all of those categories. I'd love to hear. It's fun to learn other people's opinions on things and the reason why they maybe rank something or maybe don't rank something. There are a lot of great rides that I didn't even name, from Haunted Mansion or Big Thunder Mountain, Remy's, um, Living with the Land, Slinky Dog Dash, Rock and Roller Coaster. Gosh, I could do probably four more sets of rankings with other rides that I didn't mention. Um, no list is right, no list is wrong. It's all personal opinion, and I'd love to hear from you on what yours are. So there's my Mount Rushmores for Walt Disney World. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully you will um, share your comments and thoughts. We do these podcasts once a week, and I post these out. We also do a live Park Life Live on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on our Park Life Podcast YouTube channel. I would love to have you join us. We have a Discord that is Park Life Podcast, where I encourage viewers to provide their comments, their questions, their topics that they would like to cover on our live sessions. We usually answer those questions or cover those topics. I will share any new information that has come out in that week from Disney. And then I ask the audience some questions and we get some feedback and commentary in that way. So it's a lot of fun. I would love to have you join us again Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the Park Life Podcast YouTube channel. As I said early on, am a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney. I would love to work with you and your family on your next Disney World trip. You can find me on social media at TikTok and Instagram as Mike underscore Disney Travel. On YouTube, you can find me there as well, as well as the Park Life Podcast channel. And then on Facebook, I am Mike's Magical World Vacations. So look for me in those places. Again, reach out to me. I'd love to work with you and your family on making magical memories for you on your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise, or Disney Lonnie experience. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a great time. Again, share your comments on your top Mount Rushmore items, and I will see you again next time. Have a great day and a great week, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.